Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1976 Chrysler Cordoba. Up front is a 6.6 liter V8 and down below is a 3-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Cordoba because I've never driven one before and I haven't really driven anything like this before. Of this era, I haven't driven too many Chrysler products, and so I'm always excited to expand my knowledge and show you guys something fresh and new. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 400 cubic inch V8 under the hood. Well, this was the biggest engine that was offered in the Cordoba at the time. There were several engines offered, but this is the biggest, and this is kind of the one that it was known for. Although this is a post-fuel crisis car, so you're not getting the crazy 8 liters, 7 liters that American cars used to have. This is a measly, tiny little 6.5 liter. I really do love the just jargon that's on the air cleaner, the electronic spark and things like that. I just love that old verbiage found on the engine. Like I said, paired to it is a 3-speed automatic, nothing really too crazy over there. It's doing the job and it's functioning. Last but not least, the Cordoba is rear-wheel drive. So how does it feel to actually drive a Chrysler Cordoba? Well, it's actually a very floaty, very comfortable ride. This was a personal luxury car. Chrysler was the more luxury-oriented brand from their ownership. Dodge was sort of an entry level, along with Plymouth, but Chrysler got the bells and whistles, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but you definitely feel that in the way it drives, the way it rides, and the way it feels. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 gauges. Off to the left is my speedometer, and off to the right is my coolant temperature and fuel. On the steering wheel, I do get a little Cordoba badge, which just looks so prim and proper. I absolutely love the look of that, but of course no airbag, no craziness here or there. And off to the left, I have my lights, my washers, and my climate controls. Very interesting that in the 70s, climate controls were more often than not found off to the left, which didn't allow for the passenger to even think about touching them. We saw this from Cadillac and now, of course, Chrysler as well. On the door, we do have manual mirrors and power windows, as well as this nice velour and this really intricate pattern, and it says Cordoba. It really, really makes you feel special, and I love that feeling, of course. Moving into the center, we get actually more gauges. So we have our oil pressure, low and high, and our alternator. That's it, very simple, but nice to see those. And then we do get a little radio down below. It is AM and FM. That wasn't a given here in the 1970s, so really cool to see that. Off to the right, I do want to talk about the dashboard. I normally breeze over it, but this again has that really intricate pattern, several climate control vents, and the chronometer clock, which is just a really nice centerpiece of the dashboard. Below that, I do have a pull-out cigarette lighter and ashtray, and in the center, I don't get any cup holders or anything like that. So, unfortunately, but predictably, the 1976 Chrysler Cordoba fails the big friggin' bottle test. Now we have to talk about the seats, and this is the velour interior, which is definitely very nice, very comfortable, you know, very spacious, luxurious, and these seats are wonderful. However, there was another more popular interior, which was the Corinthian leather. Chrysler pushed this Corinthian leather like the days were ending.
It's available even in soft Corinthian leather.
It was all in their commercials, and anytime I talk to anyone about the Cordoba, they always talk about the Corinthian leather. So unfortunately, this car doesn't have that. But I have to say, these seats are still incredibly comfortable and some of the best there is. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back of a Chrysler Cordoba. It's kind of what I expected, which is actually very good. Because cars like this were very big, the back seats are actually pretty comfortable. I can move the seat back to where it was. Unfortunately, I can't reach the door. But I could sit back here and be totally fine. You can't really say that about modern coupes all that much, especially being a bigger guy like me. I have plenty of space back here, so you're probably gonna have even more space, which is very nice. I do have lap belts back here, no shoulder belts, and I do have tiny little ashtrays by my hip. I can't imagine trying to ash out all the way down there, but I guess people did it back in the 70s. So the velour carries on back here. I love the feeling of it. I love the feeling of these seats. They're just so of the era. Like every time I get in them, like I just feel like I need to watch a cop movie and, you know, enjoy the 70s music and things like that. So it's really cool being back here. But speaking of back here, let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Cordoba, circle key up because it's a Chrysler, and here we are in the trunk. Very, very sizable. Of course, it is a 70s car, so you get all the space in the world when it comes to the trunk. Whatever you want to put back here, I promise you, promise that you'll be able to fit it. I absolutely love that. Not much in terms of a trunk liner, but hey, you know, the cars of the 60s and 70s really didn't need that, and the 50s and before. So trunk liners weren't really a thing in this era, so can't really knock it for that. I do get a cool little diagram here for the spare tire, things like that. But overall, that is the trunk of a Chrysler Cordoba. Now you know. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I don't know how I feel about the Cordoba because the headlights are round, which is very strange, and it looks like a couple different cars put together, but this is how it came from the factory, and this is actually a very, very clean, very well kept example, which is very fascinating. However, this is still the era of land yacht barges from the 70s, so it does properly look like one. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a 1976 Chrysler Cordoba? Well, I've said this in my Cadillac reviews, but now it's Chrysler's turn to take the torch. This is sort of the final frontier for the big boaty vehicles. Of course, when the fuel crisis hit in 1973, and then again later in the 70s, change didn't happen overnight, but change had to happen at some point. And so you see this car still retaining that 70s plush, comfortable interior, the great wood grain, the intricate designs, the true luxury. But that engine is a little bit smaller than they used to do. And it has some new fancy technology on it to make it supposedly burn a little bit cleaner. It's grasping on to what Chrysler's used to be, but still the change has begun. And so looking at this car, yes, the B-52s were right. Hop in my Chrysler. It's as big as a whale, and it's about to set sail. But the whale wouldn't last forever, and by the 1980s, we got the K platform and vehicles like the Chrysler LeBaron. Still a comfortable car, but, well, it kind of looks like when a 10-year-old puts on his dad's business suit for some funny photos. It's not quite correct. This is correct, although maybe not politically. This is what you want to be rolling around in. And on this crisp Oregon morning, I'm happy to be driving this one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ryan for bringing his Chrysler Cordoba out this morning and letting me drive it. Ryan's been great to work with. I'm also filming his Alfa Romeo, which I'm very excited about. He's been a wonderful asset to the channel, such a joy to work with, and I hope to work more with him in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.